Alright, today we're going to take a look at the Steam Deck made by Valve. So this came out a while back, and now we're going to take a look on if it's worth getting in 2023. So when we look at it, we've got a portable PC essentially. It runs off of Linux, and it links directly to Steam. We'll go into some of the features of it. We've got back buttons that are programmable for those of you that like using pro controllers like the Edge or the Xbox Elite controller. Got your addressable buttons, pause, share, a button that goes straight to the Steam menu. So you can go check your library, the store, whoever's on, and then your simple options. As I was saying, this is made by Valve. Because of that, it runs its own software. So it has Steam OS. It links directly to the Steam store. So really nice that you can find games that work off the bat with the Steam Deck. There'll even be little icons that show if it's good for the deck or not. There are still some that are not exactly Steam Deck compatible. Earlier, I was saying that we have addressable buttons on here. So when we look, we can actually open up any of the games and go over to the controller settings. This would actually allow us to change settings on the fly. We can change the layout to be however you'd like to, for anything that you might want to change to be more convenient. Another great thing about the Steam Deck, it is upgradable. So it's a really nice thing to be able to know that you can tear this thing apart and upgrade pieces as you see fit. Because this is basically a handheld PC, this thing is an emulation machine. There's a whole setup that you can go through. I won't go into it, but there's a whole setup to play any emulator that you can think of on the Steam Deck, and usually they run pretty well. So anything from fan-made games or ROM hacks or anything like that, it's a possibility on the Steam Deck, and you can play it mobile. Like one of my favorite things is, surprisingly, Pokemon fan games. A lot of heart and effort goes into them. I don't know, something about being able to play an old school Pokemon game that's a little bit different on a nice handheld instead of just on the PC is really nice for me. So other fun features on this, because it is linked to your Steam, if you have your PC on, you can actually stream it to this device. So if I wanted to, say, play something from my PC, but not sit at my desk and just go somewhere else in the house and sit on a couch, I absolutely could. It'll be running on both, and you can play it with very little lag. While it can stream straight from Steam, they also have the ability to hook up to PS5 and xCloud. There are tons of YouTube tutorials online that you can find for that. Overall, how does the Steam Deck feel? It's actually got a little bit of weight to it. It's not super heavy, but when comparing to like a Nintendo Switch, the ergonomics of this are a little bit better. Only because when you take a look at the back, it actually holds like a controller rather than being just one flat slab like it is for the Nintendo Switch. Another great thing about this, there are still add-ons that you can get for your Steam Deck. So one of the big ones that a lot of people seem to get is actually a Steam Deck dock. Now this is not the one straight from Steam Deck. This is a third party. But when you look at it, it gives you just about everything you need to be able to make it plug and play. An HDMI port, some USB ports, a USB-C power port for being able to charge the Steam Deck, and all of it plugs in with just one cord. For those of you that wanted to actually take your Steam Deck, pair a controller to it, and actually play it on a big screen TV, it's a possibility. And you get a nice little display for your Steam Deck. Another one of the things about the Steam Deck, the memory is just okay. It comes in 3 different sizes whenever you buy one, but with gaming, it's never really enough because games are getting so big these days. But luckily, we have options. You can actually buy little micro SD cards that work pretty easy, and you can be able to hot swap these out, so if you have different games on different ones, you don't really have to worry about deleting old ones. Now, I will say the only thing that I'm not too much a fan of on the Steam Deck is the battery life. The battery life I think is just a bit lacking, but overall, it's not too bad. So, should you buy a Steam Deck in 2023? Well, it kind of depends on what you're looking at it for. Can you replace your PC with this? Some people can. I personally cannot see the case for it. Mainly because there are games that if you wanted to really play through Steam to get that best experience, there's some games that just aren't compatible yet. Some of them may not ever be compatible. It's something to look out for. But it is definitely a solid alternative for those who can make that work. Having just the ability to play some certain games with some friends online, really playing a lot of single player games, it's a solid experience and one where you don't have to spend $1,400 on the newest computer tech just to keep up with it. So the other use case for this is to use it like it's a streaming device for games. I would say this probably beats something like the Backbone, where you have to use your phone just to be able to stream games from your computer or wherever else you're playing. I would say this beats it just about every time just because of the buttons, the trackpads. It just feels better than using one of those kind of devices. What would us at DubeTube give the Steam Deck? Well, I would say we're going to give it an 8.6. And the only real cons to it, one, the battery life kinda is not great. It's something that you can address by getting like add-on pieces. Like I've seen a whole community do 3D printing to put a battery on the back of it and everything, but it's a lot of work. Two, the joysticks. I'm not a fan that they built it knowing full well that they could have drift in it, but that's an industry standard that everyone seems to do. All the pieces are actually replaceable. You can actually find joysticks that you can replace that will never have the drift, but it's something to note that doing that is super invasive, and it means you cracking open this thing and tearing it apart. It leaves a lot of room for error, which means you could very easily break your Steam Deck in doing it. And the same goes for storage. If you wanted to upgrade the internal SSD, it's just as invasive. You have to tear it open. There's a lot of things that can go wrong very quickly. All those things considered, it's still a solid alternative to buying a brand new PC. 8.6 out of 10. Hopefully one day we get a Steam Deck too, and then we'll review that as well. Until then, thank you for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and let us know what else to review in the future. Thank you.